it's quite small. Hello guys, it's Talia. This is Predator's latest Orion PC, the Orion X. And at first glance, I was a little confused because the Orion just got a redesign last year and it was chef's kiss, so why change? Then I saw it in person and it's small. This is their first small form factor PC in a 15-litre case, which is honestly about half the size of my backpack. So it's small, but very dense. And that is due to the specifications inside. With a 13th generation Intel Core i9, the first 6 GHz processor with an RTX 4090. But it's so small. So how do? Well, the chassis has been designed in a compartmental way. It's not just techie from a looks aesthetic standpoint, it's actually functional. I love it. You can easily access whatever you need to access without having to take everything apart. Foolproof. Mainly. We'll get into that in a second. There's zone 1, zone 2, and then zone 3 in the middle. Over in this side, zone 1, you have your power supply, your storage, memory, and the processor with AIO liquid cooler. Super cool. Super cool. There's also a dual channel pump and a cold plate inside that for better heat dissipation, and RGB on the outside for also cooling, yes. The processor and the power supply are placed right next to the mesh side panel, so loads of air intake, and then the exhauster at the top with 2 120mm fans. Going from zone 1 to the other side for zone 2, we have our HDD slots. Yes, they are tucked away in there somewhere, plus the graphics card, which is Acer's own RTX 4090, which is really cool to see. I think this is the first time we're seeing it, I believe. You'll notice that the size is less aggressive and it has a custom engineered liquid cooled block with a cold plate inside. Predator, just when it comes to cooling, Predator are so good at cooling. They really put that first. There's everything I mentioned here, plus there's extra things like the tubing, the radiator, everything's been specialized to really max out the cooling. They're really good at it, I'll be honest. And then zone 3, this middle section here, is the exhaust fans at the top, so all the air comes in from the sides and out to the top. So to answer my question from earlier, because I kind of detoured from there, that is how the Orion X manages to do this. Cooling, and then more cooling. And it is foolproof, but I, however, am fool. Getting into the chassis is actually incredibly easy. You just take off the magnetic panel and then you unclip one of these latches. Very satisfying, by the way. And then the panel just slides right out. Zone 1, zone 2, no problem. I got to zone 3. I unclipped it, took off the top panel, but then underneath that, there's screws. And my brain saw screws and went, unscrew them. So I did. All of them, about 12 too many. And that actually meant that it wouldn't open, so don't do any of that. The screws are supposed to stay in. You just need to push the screws in order to open up the panel. And it sounds like I kind of got tricked, but I didn't, because there's even writing that says push. Idiot. It's shockingly easy. And tucked away at the bottom here, this I love. It's a hot swap SSD, so incredibly easy to get to. Again, but also super helpful because it connects via USB Type-C. This is great because if you use your PC for work or gaming when you're at home and want to take a laptop out with you when you're traveling, then you can just take all your files, your documents right there. And there's also this mechanical headset rest, which is really cool. It's all made of metal. You can kind of spin it around and then you can take it out completely, or you can even flatten it down if you don't want it to poke out, have it resting like that. And this whole latch system is very satisfying. Everything is shockingly easy to open, but also to close as well. Everything just clips into place without having, sometimes with the side panels you have to slide it in at the exact angle. I'm never very good at that. So this just all clips in. So this mechanical design of it makes sense. It's really functional and I like that. But how well does this all translate to gaming? Really well. I played Starfield and Cyberpunk both at their ultra or higher settings in 4K with the VSync turned off and ray tracing on, and I was getting around 80 to 100 FPS in both Cyberpunk. And I had games running for about an hour and a half. The CPU didn't go past around 62 degrees and the GPU maxed out at 55. The fans, they were just chilling the PC, but they were also very calm. They were suspiciously quiet. It was kind of running around this noise. I'm crazy impressed with the Orion X. I love a small form factor PC, and I kind of expected something along the line, maybe the fans will be a little bit noisy or maybe it'll get hot, but it's really fucking cold and really fucking quiet. I love the small form factor PC as well. You get the funky design, you still get the RGB, all of that, but without having this big watchtower on your desk, which I like because I like having desk space that I can then fill with monitors. And the design itself It's unlike any of the past Orions. You can really see where Predator are kind of leaning away from the initial alien-like aesthetic to the more clean and minimal designs of last year with the Orion 5000, 7000, and now this, which is completely different, very techy, kind of industrial looking, and unlike any PC I've seen so far. Generally. Let me know what you think of the tiny but very mighty Orion X, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys. This is my impression of the headset rest.